Hi, welcome to Table 10, our knitting podcast. We will be your hosts today. My name is Renee.
I'm Rachel. This is episode 12.
Episode 12! Welcome, get cozy, grab a project or don't, and hang out with us while we talk to you about stuff. We have a house full of children today because they are on summer break, so we are just going to work through that. If you hear some happiness and cheer in the background, that's what's going on. And also,
we have to record 2 today because Renee and I both leave for trips this weekend. We leave on Friday.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a little costume change, and you're going to get an extra pre-recorded special.
Yeah. So that we don't miss you for a week because we enjoy hanging out with you at our table every week.
Yeah. So, and we're going to try to do it with every kid in the house, plus an extra. One of our nieces is here, plus 2 dogs and our mom. So that's it. We're all here. It's a full table today.
That's true.
You got us all.
You have a lot of company hanging out with you today.
So thank you for being here. Thank you for coming back, or thank you for joining us for the first time. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So what are you wearing today?
I'm wearing my completed tee number 1. I promised Renee to do the twirly thing, so there I go.
I'll drop her right over the plant.
But I finished this, it was in June. Someone said that if I finished it in June, it counted. So my June tee is done.
Oh, get out of here.
It's done.
That doesn't count.
It counts.
No,
There's a comment that said it counted.
Well, whoever that is wrong.
Right, is right.
Do you want it to be your June one?
No, I don't care.
Okay.
Maybe. We'll see how the rest of June goes.
We won't make you commit yet.
This is done, and I love it. It came out so well.
It's gorgeous.
I have to tell you, I was on a real bad run. I started to make that bloom pullover, and it was too tight. It's only half done. And then I started to make that weekender crew, and the yarn got weird on me, and it's only half done. So I really needed a win.
Oh, yeah.
I needed something to be good.
Right.
And this is really good.
It's beautiful,
It's
Rachel.
really good. I'm really happy with it.
I like the fit. I like the length.
Me too. I'm wearing it with only my bra on.
Yeah.
It's this
very
yarn
comfortable.
is, yeah.
What yarn is it?
This is the Farmer's Daughter Confluence Cotton. It is
80% Targhee and ramble and 20% cotton.
Yep. It's in the color Namu. And so I knit the size 5. I knit it pretty much at gauge. I might have been a half stitch either direction. I knit it with the needles that the pattern called for. And I used 6 and about 1/3 skeins.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah. But I did not knit it as long. The pattern said to knit, I think for my size, to 21.5 inches.
Okay.
And I stopped at like 19.
Okay.
Because
I stopped early too.
Yeah.
But
I didn't want it, if it's going to be any longer than this, I want it to have a split hem. That's
okay.
Because I'm a hippie. Like, I'm not a straight up and down person. I have boobs and a butt.
You said hippie and I thought like 70s.
Yeah. I'm both kinds of hippie sometimes.
Yeah.
But if it gets too long, I don't want it tight on my hips.
I get it.
So this didn't have a split hem, so I cut it so that it would hit just right above my hips.
I love it.
I do too. Very happy with it. I think I could wear it with leggings or jeans.
Yes.
Which is perfect.
Yes.
I don't wear jeans
And
that
it
much.
looks cozy and casual. Like you could be snuggled up on a couch, but you could also walk into a business meeting with that top.
Yeah, I don't do
You know
that
what I
either,
mean?
but yeah.
I know.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy with this.
Will you move your hair so they can see the saddle shoulders?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's saddle shoulder. If you've watched the podcast before, you probably know that I don't read knitting patterns very well. I mean, I can read, but I don't. So
It's not a skill limitation. It's an attention limitation.
I did do the neckline just the way I thought
It's
we were doing
confident.
it.
Maybe it's confidence. Like, oh, I got it.
Maybe misguided. So in the pattern, she has you knit from the reverse and fold it out so you have that exposed cast off, bind off.
Bind off.
You have an exposed bind off. I didn't do that because I didn't look that closely at the pattern, the picture, or the written instructions. I just looked at how many stitches to pick up and just did it. But I like it. I'm happy with it.
I think it's beautiful.
I looked inside. My bind off wasn't that pretty anyhow. No one wants to see it.
Hey, get closer so that they can see. There is, in that yarn color, it's like the cotton and wool don't pick up the dye the same way. And I really like that. Like the little bit of, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's some
lighter flex
and there's
to
variegation. You can see.
It's beautiful. Yeah, beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look at me.
Look at that, a little win-win.
And you're wearing blue.
I am wearing blue. In the last episode, in the Q&A episode, we talked about 100% cotton t-shirts that we like.
Yes.
And I made reference to the Old Navy one. This is one of them. This is a women's size medium, but it's almost built like a unisex t-shirt.
It is.
It's very wide and boxy.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I ran right over there to get my own.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been washed a couple times. It's nice and soft. It wasn't as soft in the store.
I have not washed mine.
Whenever they manufacture clothes, sometimes they lay. Yeah. So this is much softer than when it wasn't washed.
Okay.
That's what I'm wearing. It's my first podcast without anything knit on. But
it's
guys,
summer.
It's so warm in this house too. I told Rachel, plus these lights, I'm like,
she was also, you guys, I said, hey Renee, let's try to be like sitting down at 10 o'clock.
No, you didn't say all those words. I said 10:30 and you said, have mom come at 10.
Just a second, please.
Let's be ready to sit at 10. Yep. Didn't read that.
So it runs in the family.
Just a brief overview of what I think is going on. Yeah, so I was running around. And also I couldn't find my eyebrow pencil.
When I pulled into this house, I FaceTimed her to see how she wanted me to come in, garage or front door. I see this. It was 9:38. I said, Renee, are we going to be ready at 10? She's like, think so. She's lifting weights.
It wasn't 9:38, was it? I do have ADHD and I am...
Oh, 9:28. Sorry, that 10 minutes really made a difference.
So I'm a little bit time blind sometimes. I think, I totally have time for all of that. And I forget that's not how time works.
Luckily, the kids were so interested in what I was doing in here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they were like kind of being helpful because they were just like standing and staring. Normally they would be like running around and I'd be like, excuse me.
Aww.
So they helped. All right, so you want to keep going with finished objects? You got any?
Yes, I do have a finished object.
Okay.
Here is my finished emotional chicken.
God, Renee.
Isn't she so cute?
I was gushing over her to Mom when I was setting up.
Really?
She said, is she going to talk about that chicken? And I said, yeah, is that not the cutest chicken you've ever seen?
She's so sweet. I really love her. So this was made out of a 100% acrylic yarn, Karen, and the colorway is beach towel. And the cool thing about this color changing yarn is that you have to cast on different colors for the beak and for, go ahead.
Karen Cinnamon Swirl Cakes.
Okay, in the color beach towel. This is an emotional support chicken. The pattern is from the owner of the Knitting Tree LA, and I knit it as a part of the Two Sisters Knittintalkinshit podcast. They are doing a make-along, and it's called the 10 for 10 make-along, and they are hoping to get 10 emotional support chickens knit or crocheted and donated to 10 different locations of Covenant House. Covenant House supports young adults aged 16 to 24. And because of that, I wanted it to be like a fun color, like a rainbow, or I wanted to make an alternative chicken. So if I make another one, I think it would be alternative.
I think either, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I've seen so many chickens now And they're
all beautiful. They're
the
so
scrappy
happy.
ones,
Look at this.
the solid ones.
The eyes are looking a little.
And the size on that chicken is so nice.
Yeah.
When you see it in a picture, if you've never seen one in real life, or if you've never seen one with anything to give it scale,
yeah,
you don't realize it's that big.
Right.
This is like she's almost the size of a real chicken.
Yes. And she's stuffed with polyfill. And, okay, so it was color changing, but you have to cast on yellow for the beak. And I was playing yarn chicken, so I looked back in my chicken because it's knit from the back to the front, and I was on blue, and I was really hopeful that I wouldn't color change in the middle of her head.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted her head to be a solid color. And then it said cast on yellow for the beak, and I thought, oh no, I'm going to run out of blue. I'm going to have to, like, wind yarn off to get back to the blue for her head, or I'm going to have to cut and not... Anyways, it changed right here from blue to yellow. I didn't even have to cast on different. I just kept knitting. So I won yarn chicken knitting the emotional support chicken. How cool is that? And then 2 safety eyes, and then this calls for red, but I just picked the reddish color that I had so that it all...
That's cute, Renee.
Yeah, so this is going to the Philadelphia location.
Who chooses the location?
The sisters chose the 10.
Oh, yeah.
So Marian and Regina chose the 10. Then you go into their Ravelry group and you sign up for one of the 10 locations.
Okay. I was curious because I heard them talking about, like, oh, this one's going to Toronto, and I was like, how do you pick?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get to sign up. And awesome. I do think that they still have a few spots open as of recording time.
I bet they would accept more than 10.
Oh, for sure. I think that they would love to have more. And then in their Ravelry group, they also have information now updated on where to send your chicken into. Oh, here's something fun about this one. You can't see it, of course, because now it's all knit up. I knit a hand knit heart inside of the chicken because our friend Ruth said that she always does that with her chickens when we were at her house knitting on her porch. And I thought, that is so sweet. I want to do that. So I found a creator, Kristen of Studio Knits on YouTube, and she has a free pattern and tutorial that I followed to knit a hand knit heart, and we will have that information in the show notes below. I know, so sweet. So we're going to give her hugs and send her on her way. I was just keeping her here so that
your daughter was telling us that. She said, oh, Bubba, that is not ours. We are going to just give it hugs, and it has to go to someone that doesn't live with their family. She knew the whole story.
I've been trying to explain it to her.
She knew it.
Oh, good.
She had big eyes. She was looking up at Mom.
Oh, good.
She's like, don't get excited, Mama. That chicken's not staying here.
But give it a hug. It is so...
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I understand about researching this pattern is that it was originally created for people in the hospital instead of hugging a pillow.
Yeah. Like
you know when you have surgery? Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
You're so cute. This is so really cute. Like the size of a real chicken.
Yeah,
we used to have chickens at my house. Yeah.
And that was a pretty quick knit.
Yeah.
I was knitting a lot on it because I wanted to surprise you with it. So, yeah, that is Miss Chick.
She's cute.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right.
So, Marian and Regina, this one is going to its new home this week. All right.
Okay. I have a half-finished object. Would you like to see it?
I would love to see that. Okay. I would love to show you.
I finished one of my rainbow socks.
Oh my God. Hey, that goes really well with both of our outfits.
Yeah. Well, it's a rainbow.
Yeah, but that pulls the blue and the...
Okay, so...
Oh, that is beautiful, Rachel. I'm going to have to make that pattern. I love that.
Okay, this is the Rainbow Sherbet socks. Hold on. I think it's oak. Hold on.
This is a paid pattern?
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is Rainbow Sherbet. And it is... Ravelry does not make this easy. Rainbow Sherbet is the pattern name by Oakwood Knits. It is, as of today, a $6 pattern. It is knit toe up. Mm-hmm. My first toe up sock. I did the Murano slippers. Those were toe up, but they were not socks. So I'm going to call this my first toe up sock. Mm-hmm. And it's got the texture on the front and plain stockinette on the back. This is a Flegel heel and a 1x1 rib at the top with Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. So this is Judy's magic cast on and Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. And I will say,
that was 3 firsts for you.
in my mind, Judy and Jenny are just sisters now. That's what I think. I did Google them. They're not sisters. They are knitters who created these things. But you can't both have a technique in one sock and you have names that start with the same letter and my brain doesn't make you sisters.
Right.
Sorry.
Hopefully they liked each other.
Sorry, Judy and Jenny. But it was a lot of new things for me. And I like them all. I really enjoyed this sock. I like the toe up. I want you to look at this. This Flegel heel, I dare you to find a hole in it.
Yeah. Show them. That's impressive.
It's just the way that it's knit.
And you just keep knitting. There's no...
Correct. You don't pick anything up.
Right.
That's why you don't get any holes. Yeah, I loved it. The only thing is, I did my bind off too tight. That's on me. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know if it should be tight or if it should be loose. And I think I just did my yarn overs a little too tight.
Yeah.
So no big deal. I will loosen up. It goes on. I just have to
Shimmy it a little bit.
Yeah, a little shimmy. So that's one. I have not cast on the second one because I don't like doing that.
Which part?
Just getting anything started.
Okay.
Do you guys want to see how much yarn I have left though? It's been a long time since I've knit a sock that didn't have an accent, anything. I didn't weigh it, but that's how much yarn is left.
What yarn is that?
This is a hand-dyed yarn by Hugh Loco. It's her Phyllis sock base, and the colorway is Nostalgia. It was a pre-order in the past.
It's beautiful.
I don't know. Maybe she brings them back. I'm not sure, but
that's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
It's gorgeous. I love that.
I do too. Okay.
I like that pattern too.
I do too.
Rachel had is it in your Instagram grid?
No.
You shared
I
all of
posted
those.
on my stories asking, could you please help me find a pattern for variegated yarn? Because that is highly variegated. And I had so many great suggestions.
Yes.
I put them all up. I still have it.
Okay. Yeah.
We can put them up. I would have been happy knitting any single one of those socks. It's just that this pattern was shown in a yarn very similar to this, so it was like easy to visualize.
Yes.
Sold.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'd love to knit that pattern too. I had a doctor's appointment yesterday, and while I was waiting, I was working on my knitted project, socks, and she said, "What are you working on?" I said, "Are you a knitter?" She said, "Yes."
Ooh, your doctor?
Yes. So she was showing me her pattern of the mock cable socks she was making. I showed her the socks that I was making. She said that she will cast on and knit the cuff of both of them at the same time. Then she will put the second cuff over on hold and finish the first
That's
sock.
a good
and
idea.
It's easier for
Get
her
all
to
that
start
out of the way.
Yeah, because it's already started then for her.
I'm going to have to watch that video again to do the Judy because I've only done it once.
Yeah.
And right after that, you immediately go into increases, which requires a little bit of focus and counting. So I want to be able to sit down and do this whole toe.
Yeah.
Without getting up.
Yeah.
And I've not found a stretch of time where I'm confident that that would happen.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Do you want to see mine?
Yeah. This is a good transition. FO right into whip. Because that was like half.
Yeah. Oh. How cute are
Wait,
those?
do you just have a Kitchener to do?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I love it. And a heel.
Yes. So these are my first pair of socks, 2 at a time. These are all different colored yarns that I faded together. And if you can see, I got better as the project went on because I think that it was very boldly courageous or just excitedly naive that I wanted to do 2 at a time socks for the first time ever, but then also fade them. So for like 15 rows in some
You're right,
but I was carrying 4 balls of yarn.
You would have had to have taken such annoyingly accurate notes if you weren't doing those 2 at a time.
Yeah.
Or you would have had to been happy with not matching socks, which you would not have been happy. So,
right.
Good for you for jumping in and doing it, because I think that was the right decision.
I do too. So up here at I did the pink cuff, and then I only got one orange and then one pink, and I was like, I can't do this. This is too much yarn management. So then I did my orange. Then I got to 5 rows of color changing, fading from orange to yellow. And then I really got my groove after that. Yeah. I got more comfortable with managing 4 balls of yarn. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this. And I have a lot of yarn left over. So what I have to do now is just Kitchener the toe. And then I will pick up my heel. And I think I'm going to do the heel in green.
Okay, I was going to ask.
Yeah. We will put the information of the yarn below. I did, 20 rounds for the cuff, 60 rounds for the leg, 70 rounds for the foot before I started a rounded toe. And then I'll do the rounded toe as well for the forethought heel. Yeah, aren't those happy?
Yeah.
And there they are. I'm so excited to wear them. We'll see when I get those actually finished.
Cute. Do you have any other whips?
I do. Do you?
I do.
Okay, you do yours.
Okay, I have...
what?
I have a whip and a whip disaster.
Ooh!
Which would you
okay,
like to see
them
first?
I'm going to do the whip first, then the whip
Okay.
disaster.
Okay. This is the Inclinations cowl.
Okay.
This is what I've been knitting since I haven't had the courage to cast on the other sock.
Okay.
So I have made a little bit of progress. Here she is, guys.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I stopped knitting in the middle of a row, so for a little bit of this, we're going to have to use our imaginations. But
do you want to do the quick rundown?
Yeah, I will. This is the Inclinations cowl. Pattern is by Andrea Mowry. It is knit in 2 different colorways. Mine is knit in 2 different colorways of Spin Cycle dyed in the wool. The colorways are the exclusive colorways from La Mercerie. Pale September is the lighter one, and November Air is the darker one. It requires 2 skeins of each. So this is what's left from the first skein. I'm almost done. It's a triangle cowl, like knit on the bias, that shape. You knit it flat and then you seam it. And I'm knitting it for the Spin Cycle Cowl Girl Knit Along. Mm-hmm. So I have to finish it this month, I think. Sometime this month is the deadline. There we go.
I was supposed to cast that on. I don't think that's happening.
Ever?
Not this month. Let me see your whip disaster.
This is a case of I thought I would innovate.
Let me see it.
Okay. First, I got a new project bag. If you remember, I was knitting 2 at a time stripy socks, and the yarn kept yarn barfing.
Okay.
Because I was pulling from the center, which
right.
I don't like to do.
Right.
So what happened was I got this new project bag. We went to a fiber festival this weekend, and I got a 2 at a time sock bag. Can you see? I don't want to block my face, but can you see that there is this is like a kind of stiff divider in the middle? Okay, so I was like, I am going to fix the problem. I was like, I was gonna make an Instagram post and everything on how innovative I was. I was like, I'm gonna wind this yarn into balls while it's attached to my needles. So I did that, but then the yarn barf kept barfing. So I was like, what I'll do is I'll wind it from the outside and then wind it back from the inside.
Okay.
Okay, I'm still innovating. Things went so badly. You guys, things went so badly. Fair trigger warning. There's no more needles.
Oh no, you took them off the needles?
Yeah, but look, I did this. I did do this. A little bit.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, what are you going to do?
I'm just going to
ignore it for a minute.
I'm going to ignore it forever.
Forever?
Those aren't meant to be.
We're so close.
Was
Do you want me to try to fix them for you?
Was I close?
Well, I mean, we decided that you almost had a leg. Do you want me to try to fix them for you?
No. Do you remember last time, guys, when I said sometimes you're gonna mess up and you just have to laugh about it and you just have to be okay with it?
Are you sure you don't want me to fix those?
I know. Nope.
Okay.
We'll put them in the graveyard of yarn. I can still use the yarn. I'll just clip it, and then when my kids want to knit with me, I'll give it to them. But
what if
thumbnail?
Hear me out. Hear me out. What if you clip it?
I did think about that, but I didn't want to weave in ends. So
It's
this
two
is
ends.
what I did instead.
Wait, can we go back to this sock? Talk about weaving in ends. I did talk to my doctor about this, not as a health concern, but as you're interested in knitting. Look at this. Look how many ends I have to weave in because they're all, it's a lot. I have a lot of work to do. So that's a lot of work. I'll fix that for you.
We'll see. But I'm going on a trip, so you need something to knit.
Right.
So I brought some options of socks that I can cast on.
I'm sorry about that, by the way.
Well, you just sometimes try something and it doesn't work out.
I know, but sometimes I'm like, I'm over this. I don't want to deal with it. I'd rather burn it.
Yeah, that's what happened right now.
If I fix it for you and give it back to you in like
Maybe.
2 meaningful piles.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Okay. I'll do that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I brought 2 rainbow yarns instead because that wasn't even a rainbow.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Let's go.
Okay, here they are. This is more rainbow yarn. You guys have never even seen these. I have this.
Oh, I do like that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Put that up close because they're not getting a good... Yeah, so we have that. We like this. This is opal. Mm-hmm. There's no chance that I will pronounce this correctly, so I'll just put it right here.
Good.
Okay. And I have this one.
Ooh, that's pretty too.
These, I think, are the colors of the London Tube because it says Mind the Gap.
Yeah.
This is BFL, not Superwash.
That's awesome.
I know. So maybe I'll do one of these. They're both 75% wool, 25% nylon. Neither of them appear to be superwash. And this one's BFL and this one just says wool. But I said, is that a European thing, not superwashing your sock yarn?
I don't know. Let us know in the comments.
Because this did come from Europe. I bought this on Etsy, but it did ship from Europe. And I think opal is that's not English. Is that German yarn?
I thought it was German. But
So anyhow, if anyone has a self-striping yarn pattern...
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So maybe I cast on one of these. They're pretty, right?
Yes.
Oh, or this. I've had this sitting around for a minute. Here's those needles that I pulled out off of there. But I also have this.
Mm-hmm. What would you do with that?
I'm going to show you.
Okay.
Hold my little... It's the pressed flowers socks. You know that pattern? She has pressed flowers everything. Pressed flower socks.
Cute.
Aren't they cute? Renee will put a picture up there, but Amy Christopherson, I think is her name.
Yeah.
And this has been caked up for a while, and then Renee made me paranoid about caking up your yarn and not knitting it, so. All right, so that's it. I did all of that in the last, 12 hours. I did all of that at 11 o'clock last night.
What? Oh.
All that mess and picked those new yarns to make myself happier about all that mess.
Oh. Yeah, that's salvageable. But I get it. Innovating comes with failure, too. That's okay. It's okay. I have one more whip. You want to see?
Yes. Is it a surprise?
It's a surprise.
Oh!
You want to guess?
No.
Okay. Close your eyes. You want to feel it or see it first? Close your eyes.
I'll feel it. Please.
Keep them closed.
Wait, this feels like a lot.
Uh-huh.
How long have we been working on this?
Less than a week.
Equinox?
Yes.
Is this the outline tee?
Yep.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
Is this why we don't talk at night anymore? Because you're secret? knitting?
I don't think so.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't that gorgeous, Rachel?
This yarn is...
I know.
This is beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful, Rachel?
Who
Okay.
picked this color? This color is so nice.
And look, put it on my shirt.
I know.
That's why it's a color that I gravitate towards.
This is
okay,
beautiful.
This is the outline tee by Jessie Made Designs. I am knitting this up out of Magpie Fibers Equinox Sport in the colorway called In the Navy. This is the yarn that when Rachel showed me what she got at the Magpie Fiber sale, I touched it and thought, oh, I love that. I need that. And it was sold out in this colorway.
I think it was in March.
Then we went 3 months ago. Then we went to Maryland Sheep and Wool, stopped by their store, picked up a couple more skeins of this and another colorway, and Rachel and I traded. 65% silk and 35% linen, and it is just gorgeous to feel. The drape, it's so soft. I've been knitting with this, looking at other patterns, thinking, oh my gosh, I highly recommend this yarn, only in just working with it. My hands do get a little bit of fatigue working with it. And also, we were at a local fiber fest this past weekend, and they had Equinox worsted, and I had to stop myself from talking to the lady about it, of like, I love this
you were
yarn.
already knitting with it?
Yeah, I was knitting it.
It was in the Yarn Birds truck, too. You couldn't get away from each other.
That's right. Rachel was with me, and I didn't want to ruin this surprise to tell her for the podcast to have a little surprise. Yeah, so it is 1x1 twisted half rib, and then straighten the stockinette. And I have seen people online lengthen the torso on this, which I think I will. That's my surprise whip.
That's exciting. That's very exciting. Hey, I have saved in my favorites so that is a fingering weight pattern.
Yes.
Renee's knitting it in a sport weight yarn.
Oh, I didn't say that. So I joined the Magpie Fibers live, and I said, hey, I just got Equinox Sport. Do you have pattern recommendations? And they said the outline tee, which was one of the options. So that's what made my mind up for me. I didn't even think about it anymore. I just knew I was casting on the outline tee.
Yeah, but I have saved in my Ravelry, someone knit that in the Lena, which is a DK yarn.
Yeah.
It gives a whole different vibe, but I'm into the vibe. She knit it bigger and longer. Look at it.
Yeah, beautiful. That's beautiful.
So if I knit it, I think I'm going to knit it like that.
Okay.
Probably in that color too. We'll be twins in our little outline, blue outline tees. Why would I pick a different color?
That's a yarn that I have mentally had on my use.
Pretty?
Yes. I want to use the Lena yarn because people love it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Going on vacation with 2 other couples. We're going to the British Virgin Islands. It is very unclear if they are going to let me travel with my knitting. Every time I Google it, it says security will look for knives and other sharp objects. Nowhere does it say, like,
right.
American TSA says you can bring knitting needles.
Right.
It doesn't say that. So my plan is, if I get arrested in the British Virgin Islands, will someone bail me out?
I will.
When I get off the plane.
I'll have to answer my phone first, but then after I answer, I'll bail you out.
We talked to the captain of the boat, and he said that it's a small airport, and he said you're going to have your bags in like 10 minutes. This is not a big airport. I think it's going to be like when my husband went on our honeymoon to Tahiti.
I think getting them there is going to be fine.
Right. Yes. Correct.
It's coming home.
So when I land, I'm going to go to the TSA, whatever they call TSA.
Customs.
And I'm going to say, hi, can I bring this back on board with me?
Yeah.
Or should I pack it?
That's smart.
And if they pack it, someone tell me what I'm going to do.
You're going to take wooden knitting needles. You need a couple pairs of
wooden.
I don't have them. You got to get a couple pairs of wooden ones.
Does Shagu make those? On their
Yes.
cord?
I think you're going to have to suffer for one flight. I know.
Not one flight, the whole day.
Okay, you're going to have to suffer for the whole day. No, but you get to pick up your bags in Miami.
Why would I do that?
You have to pick them up to clear customs.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, this makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I can have them back.
Right.
Okay. It's
So
a real
one
short
flight.
flight. It's
Yeah.
one flight. Maybe I'll just bring a book if they take them off of me.
Yes.
So I'll put a progress keeper in the bag. I'll put them on wooden needles. So if they take the wooden needles,
Yeah.
I'll buy
Yeah.
cheaper
And
ones.
take a A barber cord.
Yeah, and I'll put a barber cord in the progress bag. So if they take it, and then when I get to Miami, I can have my good needles back. Yes. That was my concern.
Yes.
It's not one flight. I can survive one flight. I just take a nap or something. Yes. But then it's like a long layover. It's the whole day.
Yes.
I could have so much done.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, I feel better. Oh, good.
We worked it out.
Shoot, you're solving all my problems today.
You're welcome. What's the strangest thing you've ever had taken off of you through country, like customs?
Apple butter. I cried. You guys, I used to live in Hawaii, and Hawaii is just endless summer. And so I would always come home in the fall because that's my favorite. So I would like schedule my PTO and I would plan a trip home in the fall around this festival that happens in our hometown because I love a fall festival. I love a fall festival. I like everything about it. And they always have apple butter. And there's no apple butter in Hawaii because like apples don't really grow there. It doesn't get cold enough. So I had my apple butter. I don't know why I was carrying it on. Probably because I was like 26 and didn't know any better. My dad was going to the airport with me. He was flying out for business. I was flying home to Hawaii. And I was already a little bit sad. I remember crying, like saying bye to my mom. And she was like, Rachel, you come home the 1 week a year that it's nice here. Because Pittsburgh has terrible weather, honestly. She said, it's not like this. You don't want to stay here. Look at me now. So I'm crying, and every time I cry, my dad's like, what's happening? We get to security. They're like, you can't have this. I was like, what? They're like, it's a liquid. I'm like, it's not a liquid. It's butter. And they threw it away. I was like,
I'll fix it. I'll send you apple butter, Rachel. I could see him. Mr. Fix
But it wasn't just the apple butter. It was like I was already set. You know, it's just like
yes.
That TSA guy was
like. Hey, the weirdest thing that I ever got taken off of me through customs is I was traveling in Asia with some friends, and I practiced meditation, and for one of my friends who I went on a meditation retreat with, I got him a little Buddha. 'Cause, you know,
like the statue?
Yes. But on the way home, I stopped in the Maldives. And in Malay, you're not allowed to enter the country with idols of worship. I know. I didn't. Did you know that?
I didn't either. No. I wouldn't think about that.
So they're like, they scanned my bag and they're like, oh, we need to look in there. And it was a stone one, but it was like a tiny little statue, smaller than this guy. And they're like, no, you can't have this. And I was like, well, it's a gift that I just bought for a friend, but okay, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. I don't want to make trouble in a foreign country. And it was so nice. This must happen regularly to them. Yeah. Because they packaged it up, marked it, and set it in like a repository so that when you're leaving the country,
that is nice.
You can get your stuff back.
That is
Isn't
nice.
that nice?
Yes.
So it was a nice little story to give it to my friend and say, hey, let me tell you what happened to this. I got it confiscated off of me.
Airport jail
I was
for
breaking laws without even knowing. Because, I think of, when I go to a foreign country, I try to think of the things that we travel with that aren't a big deal.
You think of it from the American
right, but I try to think of like, okay, don't travel with this, don't travel with that, don't travel with this.
Well, tell me what those are.
Well, I must have like breezed right past the idols of worship because I was like, I'm not gonna. So, anyways, that was the weirdest thing I think that I've ever had taken off of me through airport security, and I felt like such a criminal. Like I was so apologetic, and
I did not. I was pissed. I was mad.
Like, don't hate me. I'm sorry. I didn't know. It's just a gift. And it was like all wrapped up because it was stone.
Like it was being smuggled.
Yeah, it was like padded so that it didn't break in travel. So, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, what's coming up next for... How did we get on that story? Oh, you're traveling.
I was traveling.
You want to cast on a T.
I'm going to cast on one of those.
Do you know what you're casting it on with?
Yes, I have decided that if I make the Samantha Guerin tank, I'm using that Chronicles of Cheryl blue and green. I showed it to you at the Fiber Festival. Yep. Because that's the only pattern that I I don't have a lot of that yarn. It's the only pattern I have that I...
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And if I do the Alpine Bloom, I'm using the Fior de Latte Equinox and the Sex on the Beach Spin Cycle. Also because it's already in a ball and you've made me so paranoid. She probably made you guys paranoid too, did she?
I don't think I said it on the podcast.
I think you did.
Did I? Okay.
Yes.
What we're talking about is that... Where did I hear it from? I was watching a podcast or like yarn fiber content, and you're not supposed to leave your yarn caked up for more than 6 months because it shouldn't be under tension for that long.
So now when I cake it up, normally I put the label inside it. So I've ripped all the labels out of mine to give them more room.
Oh gosh. No, I think it's just because I was knitting with the when I was making my Sabai top, and I could see that the yarn had like waves in it. And really? I think if somebody was more particular, they would have probably like hanked it again and steamed it out, but I can't possibly. Have you seen what happened when I tried to wind the sock yarn into balls? Okay. She's an innovator, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't do what I say.
So this is the yarn that we reviewed this on a prior podcast. I bought it at my local yarn store, Moon and Yarn Craft Room. My daughter hand selected all of her rainbow colors. She and I looked on the internet together and found when she was saying, I want a rainbow sweater, what she thinks she meant by that.
What is it? Because I was going to ask.
So she basically wants I'm going to have to get a different background color. I want a darker contrast color for her. Maybe like a light gray.
Oh, that'd be pretty.
Like something. Yeah. Because then she wants small lines, each in a different color, making a rainbow down the sweater. Rainbow braid? Yes, kind of like that. Does she have white in between hers?
My mind, in my memory, she does, but maybe not. I don't know. Okay, what pattern are you going to do?
I haven't decided yet.
Are you making a
raglan sweater?
A winter time garb, warm.
Yes. Yeah. So I have fingering weight yarn. I will hold that double. I have Petite Knits Monday Junior sweater pattern that I already knit up for my son that I could use and just make my own
stripes.
So I might do that. Also, Petite Knit has one that has stripes in it already. So we'll see.
Okay.
TBD.
When are you planning on doing that, when the outline tee's done?
I was hoping that I could cake that up and take it with me for our trip.
Oh.
In case. Because I'm going to have just that. And we have a 6-hour car ride for our trip. So that's 12 hours of knitting. Plus being there. I would like to start working on this.
I'm going without my kids. So I should have a lot of knitting time.
That sounds heavenly.
We were talking to everybody.
A lot of knitting time.
I know. We were talking to everybody. Everybody that's going has kids, right? So, and like, this is like such a treat. And I said, you guys, we can just fall asleep. Like, you could just be sitting there and be like, I'm tired, and just fall asleep. That hasn't happened to me in like 11 years.
I know. It's a luxury.
I know. And my other friend was like, won't it be funny if the whole first day we're there, we all just sleep?
So what? Live your life.
They're like, these people are so weird. They're all...
What if they all take sedatives?
We're all shift workers and we all have kids.
Oh, that's exciting. So yeah, I think for my trip, I will have my outline tee. I should have those socks off my needles before we leave, but maybe not because I do have to pack up the family.
You can Kitchener them together. You might not have them all woven in.
And the heels done. Yeah. So I think that's what's coming up for me.
Okay.
I may cast on another sock because if we're going somewhere and I want to have some knitting while we're down there, instead of carrying a whole, but maybe I'll just carry, who knows?
All right, we'll see.
Yeah. TBD.
Okay.
And if you also hear squeaking in the background now, we have sensory swings for my children down in the basement. And those are now making the hardware that attaches into the joists, giving us another podcast.
The sensory swings are a sensory
experience for the whole household. Okay, so what have we been up to lately? What have we been up to lately?
Okay, we had 2
adventures.
We had 2 little fiber adventures this week.
Yes.
Yeah.
The first was Knit Pit Yarn Club. It's created and hosted by a wonderful woman named Kate. We had the opportunity to sit down and talk with her. If I can recover that audio, I will. We had a little interview with her. If I'm able to recover the audio.
To no one's surprise, we messed up the audio.
We sat in the car before the event, tested the new microphones that we got.
We rigorously tested them.
We did.
We were blowing in them to make sure that each one worked. I charged them all day. We were so proud of ourselves. And then they didn't work.
When I sat down with her in a noisy room, because we wanted them because we knew that we wouldn't be able to get good audio there because it's hosted in a brewery. And it's echoey. But those should have drowned out had they been working, which they were in the car before we walked into said event. And then when Kate was available.
It's a good thing that this is a voluntary unpaid gig because we'd get fired.
I know.
If anyone they'd be like, you 2 are out. You're out of here.
We tried really hard.
I know, but we're not producing the results.
I know.
Kate was so nice too.
She was, and
I don't even know what she said because I was holding the camera and
she was giving encouraging nods and smiles.
But I couldn't hear them. It was so loud in there. I could not hear what you 2 were saying. So I was like, I can't wait to watch this back and actually hear what they're talking about.
So a brief overview in case I'm not able to recover the audio of it, but I will put the visual up on the screen. Her name is Kate. She moved back to the area and in August of last year started Knit Pit, and that's where she would sit in this brewery and with her partner, and she said, I was just knitting the whole time. So I was like, why don't I invite some friends to knit with me? Because I'd like to make some friends who are into fiber stuff as well. The night that we were there were 70 people attending Yarn Club, which is so cool.
Less than a year, right?
Yes.
Less than a
Last
year.
August, I believe she started it.
And did you already say that it happens the first Wednesday of every month?
Correct.
The first Wednesday of every month at 11th hour. Is that right?
11th Hour Brewing in Lawrenceville. Mm-hmm. Completely free.
And you don't even have to knit. There's crochet people there. You could just come and hang out if you want.
Yes, if you don't have a person to come with you, there's a friendship table.
I think she said they had to have 3 friendship tables this time.
Yes, so that cool. Everyone is sitting with everybody else who has come by themselves, and that they can make friends. And what a cute name, a friendship table.
And they have outside, they have someone making pizzas.
Yeah.
So you can get a little food. The pizza looked good.
It did look good.
I had a very fancy, they have soda in a glass bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
But we went there for a special event.
She also has classes. She will teach people to knit. She has a sweater club. There's another festival coming up in the Pittsburgh area. We will put her class information below where she's going to teach people how to make a beanie. You know what she also does? I don't know if she does this all the time, but she's the one that gave me the idea of taking my Swift and Winder to work because she brings her Swift and Winder. She calls it office hours. She just goes to the brewery. When she's going to be there, she lets people know. Yeah. And so, when you're just starting, you don't have all of that equipment. So she will wind your yarn for you. Yeah. I think that's so nice. It's awesome. Yeah. She's great. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun hanging out with her. Mm-hmm. And yes, the reason that we were there on that evening specifically, we showed up early because there was by Melinda of Boss Mare Shearing. And she gave maybe an hour-long talk. Yeah. It was really a presentation. Yes. She had a slideshow presentation, and she had things to show us. Products and tools. Yeah. So her background is that she shears up and down the East Coast, basically, and has been doing it for years. 6 years? I think so. So she was a wealth of information. Yeah, she came to talk, and that night was the night that it really struck me how small our local fiber arts community is. Yes. Because we were invited by our friend Jody, who owns a farm and raises Shetland sheep and is starting a fiber mill. She has some Icelandic sheep as well. Yeah, she does.
And
Jody of Flower Hill Fleeces Farm.
Yeah, I'll make the thing and you can
Okay.
pop it up on the screen. We were invited by Jody. She said that
Her
my shearer is going to give a talk, and would you like to come listen with him? We were like, yes, we would like that. And then
I love her. Oh my gosh. Mom just walked through and she's so cute.
And then our friend Amy from Ross Farm, when we were in Maryland, we met Amy and her son, and he was there because everyone knew each other. Like,
Drew is his name.
yeah. So it was, I think, the friendship with Amy and Drew that got Melinda shearing was what how she explained it.
Yes.
And so I was like, look at everybody that we know is in this room except Ruth.
I know, it was so cool.
It was cool, wasn't it?
And Mel was like, isn't that right, Drew? I'm looking at you, Jody.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. It was cool.
Yeah.
And then we got to see them all again on Saturday.
We did.
Which was even cooler.
Yes.
Because I was like, hi, Drew. Do you remember us? We met you in Maryland. He's probably like...
That's what she said at
Wednesday
at the talk.
midnight. But by Saturday, he did remember us.
These girls just won't quit.
If you don't remember us, we're just going to keep introducing ourselves.
Hi, it's us again. Renee and Rachel.
And when we saw Amy, she said, Drew told me you were here. And I was like, yeah, probably because we've been introducing ourselves every time we see him.
What finally got her, though? Because there was
she said, so Saturday when we were at the Fiber Festival, at first I did not see Amy in the booth.
Me either.
And I was
we were there a little later.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, maybe she didn't come.
I just assumed that Drew came.
Well, he did.
Right.
We saw Drew
him.
and
right.
They brought the sheep, some of the sheep. And as we were really getting ready to leave, I saw Amy sitting in the booth and I was like, oh, let's go say hi. And she said, oh, I knew you girls were here because Drew said, hey, the podcasters are here. And she was like, doesn't narrow it down, Drew. He was like, that's true. The ones we met in Maryland. And she was like, still did not narrow it down. He said they were talking to us in the booth. And she was like, oh! So he didn't know our names yet. We're going to have to introduce ourselves again.
That's okay. No offense taken.
No, not at all. None. But it was funny.
Okay, so the Fiber Festival was the Fayette County Fiber Festival. It was held at the Dunbar at the
Fayette County Fairgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
And it was they were collecting food. It was, it was free to get in, but you brought non-perishables, and they were winding yarn for the injured veterans. Wait, hold on. There was good stuff happening there. So the wine yarning benefited the Wounded Warrior Project. So I think they charged $1 or $2 per skein to wind the yarn, and then they donated all of that.
Does it say in there?
And I thought it was more. Non-perishable items were collected for Connellsville Community Ministries. They collected a lot of food, so it was a success.
Great. Yeah. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Boss Mary Shearing was also there. She was giving demonstrations on shearing and then would answer any questions that people had afterwards. You could come up and touch the fleece. That was really cool. The kids and my husband were very interested in that, watching that presentation.
Yeah, I was too, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought that was
very cool.
Very interesting.
And my daughter was very interested in touching
everything.
We asked. She said it was okay.
She is an animal lover. I went over with her and I said, hey, can we touch them? And can we pet them? And the woman said, yeah, I mean, they hate it, but you can touch their necks. It's like, really? She's like, yeah. And then she rubbed their neck, and they didn't really hate it. I mean, they didn't appear to hate it.
I tried to get some footage of the alpaca, and I will put it up on the screen, but I will probably have to take the audio down because my daughter says the word poop 4 times, probably, in a few seconds. Is that poop? Mom, is that poop? It's so much poop.
You should just leave the audio in at this point.
Hey, dudes. Mommy, was that poop? That poop, Mom.
Yeah, she was very interested in the animals. I didn't get a lot from the...
I didn't
My
either.
daughter got the most.
Listen, we took the whole family. 2 husbands, 4 kids. It's an hour ride over there. It was a lot.
It was a lot.
There was no time to do anything. I think my husband took one picture of me and I look like this. It's kind of how I felt the whole time.
I was being drugged by the hand by my daughter for the majority of the...
Luckily, we came later in the day, so it wasn't as crowded, and it's not a huge space.
Right.
So when they went zipping away from us, they were only going one of 3 places.
Right. Yes. So I did have a little window of time where...
They're never coming to Maryland.
Oh, no.
It's way too big. I can't keep track of them.
Yeah. We did have a little window of time while they were being entertained by the husbands and the cousins.
2 of ours really got into that weaving.
Yes. That was so cool.
They had
I
like
love
a
the demonstration portion.
Yeah.
Because it's so casual and welcoming.
They must pick the most patient volunteers they have, too.
Yes. Yes. Because, yeah, my daughter was really into that. She offered to let her spin. Oh. She offered to let her weave. Yeah, it was very cool.
My husband said my son sat there with that weaving for like 25 minutes.
Awesome.
He loved it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Get him a loom. Here are the people that we got to visit. We got to visit with Jody of Flower Hill Fleeces Farm. We got to meet her friend Amber of A Lovely Yarn podcast.
Who I walked right up to like I knew her. I was like, hey!
Do you know that feeling when you meet somebody that you...
Because I've been watching her podcast for a while.
Right.
And I was like, I'm sorry, I just said hi to you like I know you. And she's like, you did. I feel like I know you.
Right. So we got to talk and hang out with them, which is always a good time hanging out with Jody. And then also hearing the story of Jody and Amber's friendship and their like cheap shenanigans. Yeah.
We had a good time. We talked to them for a while.
We did. I kept feeling bad, like, oh, excuse me, let me get out of your way when people were trying to shop Jody's booth.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to intrude.
I bought a skein of yarn from Jody.
The last one.
She said, I brought my hand-dyed yarn and I was selling it for $5. And I was like, what? And we looked in the tote and this was the only one left.
I said, Rachel's stealing that from me. There's no way that I get one of those. She did.
$5. Hand-dyed yarn.
And it's Jody's. You get to work with Jody's yarn. That's so cool.
I know. I'll share it. You want to share it?
No, it's okay.
What could you make with half a skein of yarn?
I don't know.
Nothing.
No, you keep it.
Okay, So we saw Mel from Boss Mare Shearing.
Yep.
We saw Amy and Drew from Ross Farm.
Yep.
We saw Jody from Flower Hill Fleeces.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Amber from A Lovely Yarn.
Yep.
We saw Cheryl from Chronicles of Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Rebecca from Dusty Tree Soaps.
Yes.
And
Stacey Rivera of River Rat Yarns.
Yes.
River Rat Arts.
Yes, you guys, that's where I bought this bag. And guess what? She said she was very, very nice.
She was so sweet. It was so nice to meet her too because I worked with her yarn.
And, oh my God, she had her hand spun there.
Oh, it was beautiful. That's right about the time that my daughter found me.
I'll tell you the only
got
thing,
dragged away
that stopped me from buying that skein of yarn is that I know that is an extra special skein of yarn because it's hand spun. So it was going to be more expensive than even a normal skein of yarn.
Yes.
And my husband was standing there and I was like, if he finds out that this yarn is this much and he thinks that every skein of yarn I have, I'll never buy more yarn. Sorry, Stacey. He's got to get out of here.
We got to do it on the DL.
But she was selling these bags and she said my mom makes them. And, But then look at the tag. It says Stacey's mom, which is so cute because she is Stacey's mom and there's that song.
That's so cute.
Stacey's mom.
Put it up there.
It's got it going on. Maybe.
Yep. Got it.
Okay. So, when I saw that when I got home, I was like, how cute is that?
Mm-hmm. Pa, 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 pa.
Okay.
Okay, and as a reminder, we are co-hosting the Summer Stash Bash Make-Along with Jen and Karina of
Knitting Up North with Jen and Karina.
Stash Bash includes?
It's a make-along. Knit, crochet, sew, weave.
Spin.
You can join our Ravelry group and put your submissions there, or you can use our Google Doc and email them to us. It lasts all summer long, all the way until September 1st. Bash your stashes. We'd love to see what you make.
Yep.
And thanks for joining us.
Yes. Or any of your project stash bashes?
Everything.
Well, yeah.
Everything is. I'm not knitting with yarn that I bought new yarn since just that one
project
skein from
specific.
Jody.
These are
It's all stash.
Qualify. Love that.
Look at us.
Okay, not
Setting
the
good
chicken.
examples.
I did buy yarn for that.
Well, if it wasn't a secret, you could have had my yarn.
We're going to put together a little prize that we will choose at random from the people that submit their WIPs or their completed objects.
Yep.
And
Jen and Karina also are going to do the same. So there'll be 2 prizes randomly drawn at the end of the summer.
That's right.
And we hope everybody joins us.
I hope you have fun. Work through your stash with us. Yeah.
All right. Hey, thank you again. We're going to do a quick change because we gotta go again. You're going to see us in 1 week, but 2 minutes.
All right, let's go down.
Okay.
The magic of camera. Okay.
Edit it
It's
out.
against the law.
No, it's not. Oh. Do whatever you want. You need something.
Right.
What are you doing?
Yes.
I'm sorry you said that.
Yes.
But it didn't come like
Yes.
She whispers like me. Same volume.
Yeah, just a horse her voice.
I would be like, click. Gross.
Got it.
Is this where you're gonna stop?
Anyhow.
Stash your bashes. We're not good at this. Give me an inhale, exhale. Okay, well that was dangerous. That's love, you guys. That's love.